I feel like a way to get involved inside of school as teachers is definitely try to sponsor a club, foster personal connections with your students. It's really important to just build that relationship with them and make sure that, show that you care about their lives, because we are high school students too, and we're all human beings, and just showing that you care is really important to us.
So I know a few people who worked here as staff members. They've said nothing but good things about STAG and D230 as a whole. They really influenced me to interview for the position, so I did. And after talking to the administrators during the interview process, it just seemed like a great place because you can get involved, with the academics and then also outside of school with extracurriculars. It was apparent that there's a lot of support and collaboration here, and everyone just seemed like they were all on the same page and really happy with where they worked.
So District 230, and specifically Andrew, is kind of coming back home for me. I'm super excited to be able to show students all the great opportunities that Andrew has to offer in terms of curriculars, during the school day, courses that are offered, and everything that was an opportunity for me as a student, and making sure that students find their place here and know that there's a lot available to them.
I actually graduated from here in 2015. I student taught actually in D230 over at STAG, and I'm excited to be back here now for my third year of teaching.
Something I think a teacher could do to really just connect with their students in the beginning of the year and get involved is ask. Please just ask what we're doing. Trust me, we want to be honest with you. If you approach us and you're like, oh, well, what clubs are you in? Well, what did you do this day? How did you guys do there? It immediately makes you look friendly instead of some ominous figure that we don't want to talk to. Trust me, I was there, I would know. I didn't want to talk to teachers for a long time, but after I found out that teachers are really just there for us and just asking how we are, asking what we're in, asking what we did is super, super helpful.
I have some friends who actually graduated from Andrew and from Stagg and Sandberg, and they all had wonderful things to say about it. I've never heard anyone say anything bad about the schools, and I think that's really rare. Born and raised in Tinley Park, so I am a T-Bolt, former T-Bolt, now Eagle. I've been working in the city for the past 4 years in a really small school, so I'm looking forward to coming to a big school with big spirit and a lot of pride.
As a former coach, I would talk to D230 teachers and staff members and coaches, and everybody had amazing things to say about the district. They spoke highly of the administration and the work environment and the student population, and I knew that I wanted to become part of it.
A really important thing to me, and the teachers that always stick out the most to me, are the teachers that have come to my matches or my games. I have a math teacher, his name's Mr. McGrill, just a shout out, he's the best. But he actually came to one of my soccer games, and then we talked about the game afterward in intervention, and that just stuck out to me, and I'm always gonna remember him, and just the experiences with that, and it really made the year so much better, because I feel so much closer to him.
I'm a product of District 230. I went to Andrew. It was my dream to come back and teach here. When I took Spanish classes here, when I was in just any class in this building, every time I'd leave a class feeling so inspired, I'd tell myself, I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna be a Spanish teacher here. And so to have this opportunity to come back and make an impact on the students, and because I was impacted as a student, it is a dream come true.
So I was born and raised in Orland Park. I went to Sandberg. I graduated here in 2013. Super excited to be back.
I've been in education for over 20 years. I've been in the D230 district since 2014. This is my first year as a full-time teacher.
I chose D230 and STAG. I was a STAG graduate in 2012. I built great relationships with my teachers, my coaches at the time. Those relationships went beyond high school. So when I knew I wanted to become a teacher, I knew that one day I would want to come back to STAG and have the impact those teachers had on me, that I could impact players and students of my own one day.
So it's so important that new educators have a supported start into the profession, and District 230 is really thoughtful about how we do that. So one of the ways is through the non-tenured programming. So this is a 4-year progression that begins with some learning around certain aspects of education, up and through year 4, where the expectation is that these professionals are collaborating and leading in those same areas.
We begin by a new teacher orientation to welcome our current new staff.
Some of our more informal supports, I think, is where our teachers really build relationships with other colleagues through their professional learning community work, working with their course teams, simply those people that become part of their school community throughout the school year that they build those positive relationships with.
So in addition to our non-tenured teacher programming, our first-year teachers also have a mentor. So this is a colleague within their department with whom they can collaborate and ask those questions.
It's really important that they are aligned with a veteran faculty who can really mentor them in their first few years here.
So when I think the value of being a mentor for a colleague, I look back to when I first started. So I never was in the academic setting. So I look back to when I was first starting out my career, how great it was and the value was, is that my passion and my confidence to work with kids were there, but the little nuances that we have with working within a school system, I didn't have. So to be able to work with a colleague of mine to kind of guide me along, to provide some prescribed antidotes to some things that you may come across, it's a great asset to have.
I think that by mentoring new teachers and helping them grow and become comfortable and really just be the best they can be, not only does that impact their students, but it impacts our colleagues and the community as a whole.
Just having somebody that you know is there for you to go to with any kind of question, I think is extremely helpful. I think it's an important program, and I do think it has helped retain staff members for sure.
So getting to work with new teachers is definitely a highlight of my position. That energy and enthusiasm and genuine care for students is really infectious and certainly reminds you of why we're here.
One of the most important things that I can recommend for you guys to do is really look for that quiet, shy kid in the corner and ask them, hey, how's your day? How are you doing? And stuff like that. Because I remember when I was a freshman and when I was also a new kid at middle school, when I transferred from Chicago, I was very quiet and I didn't know what to do much. So it's always nice having a teacher saying, how are you? What are your likings? All that fun stuff. And that's why, and once people talk to me, I don't shut my mouth, as Dr. Knowlton can tell you. So you never know.